Welcome back, welcome back. Let's do the Shadow Room session nice. Hope you guys enjoy yourself.
Get to know you, you run. How many good women have you left because she got to know you? You walk away from a good woman just because you know you. You'll stay with a whore because she'll never know who you are. It's more comfortable for men for us not to be known. That's why it's hard for us to stay down with good women. Because good women will look straight through you and say, you sad, ain't you? No, baby, what you talking about? I'm good. A whore ain't never going to ask you how you feel because she don't care. And many of us like that because we don't care about ourselves. And it feels good to be around people who don't care either. Because when people care about you, it challenges you to get better. When they don't, you can be whoever the hell you want to be. We are in trouble in this world. Men are in trouble in this world. You know why? Because nobody listens. They don't listen to our wisdom. And if they don't listen to our wisdom, they surely don't listen to our pain. And pain is real in men. Pain is real. Get to...
I always felt like I could do anything. That's the main thing people are controlled by. Thoughts, their perception of themselves. They're slowed down by their perception of themselves. If you're taught you can't do anything, you won't do anything. I was taught I could do everything. I always felt like I could do anything.
Welcome back, welcome back. You gotta believe in yourself when nobody else does. And remember, the Lord already does believe in you. I believe in you.
W.
Hey, you got dropped, bro.
The letter W starts with a D.
I'm going to be honest, I don't know what you've been smoking, right? But you've got A, B, C, D. Every letter that you want it to sound like sounds like it should. And then you've got W. W? It should be W.
Why?
Most people don't know this, but there's a brain structure called the anterior mid-cingulate cortex. But what's interesting about this brain area is there are now a lot of data. Most people don't know this, but there's a brain structure called the anterior mid-cingulate cortex. But what's interesting about this brain area is there are now a lot of data showing that when people do something they don't want to do, like add 3 hours of exercise, it's not about adding more work, it's about adding more work that you don't want to do.
Yes.
This brain area gets bigger.
Yep.
Is smaller in obese people.
I wonder if women, do the things they don't want to do. Like be nice to a man. Respect him in things. It's hard for some of you, so pay attention.
It's larger in athletes. It's especially large or grows larger in people that see themselves as challenged and overcome some challenge.
Right.
And in people that live a very long time, this area keeps its size.
Mm-hmm.
In many ways, scientists are starting to think of the anterior mid-cingulate cortex not just as one of the seats of willpower,
Right.
but actually the seat of the will to live. Most.
Oh, so doing things you don't want to do that are good give you a stronger will to live. And those people live longer. Oh, so that's what the Lord meant.
This next generation is just such a fucking group of pussies, man, because of that.
Do you believe that we go somewhere when we die?
This next generation is just such a fucking group of pussies, man, because of that. There's never been more opportunity than there is right now. If you're a fucking savage and you get out there and you grind hard and you want it bad enough, you can run all these guys over, man.
It's you against you. You against you. And if you misunderstand that,
Do you believe that we go somewhere when we die?
This next generation is just such a fucking group of pussies, man, because of that. There's never been more opportunity than there is right now. If you're a fucking savage and you get out there and you grind hard and you want it bad enough, you can run all these guys over, man.
it's you against you. You against you. And if you misunderstand that, you have a real problem.
It's so easy to be great nowadays, my friend, because most people are weak. Most people don't want to go that extra mile. Most people don't want to find that extra because it sucks. It's miserable. It's lonely. You have to struggle. You have to struggle. The bigger the struggle, the bigger the peace. The bigger the suffering, the more peace. Real problem. I can understand you misunderstand me running down the street, shirt off, fuck this, yeah. I can get it. I get it. If you misunderstand what I'm saying right now today, the problem is you. And you don't know.
This next generation is just such a fucking group of pussies, man, because of that.
You know the funny thing too about females like you? On the front end, you be bucking up and acting wild.
Yeah.
It's just like when you meet a horse that could potentially be a thoroughbred, but it's wild and you have to break it. The sadness is that to break something, you have to hurt it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
The following.
You know the funny thing too about females like you? On the front end, you be bucking up and acting wild.
Yeah.
It's just like when you meet a horse that could potentially be a thoroughbred, but it's wild and you have to break it. The sadness is that to break something, you have to hurt it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You're the kind of female that makes a man apply a certain kind of pressure and power.
The following video was.
You know the funny thing too about females like you? On the front end, you be bucking up and acting wild.
Yeah.
It's just like when you meet a horse that could potentially be a thoroughbred, but it's wild and you have to break it. The sadness is that to break something, you have to hurt it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You're the kind of female that makes a man apply a certain kind of pressure and
J pressure.
power towards you that is actually not healthy. You see, because when you tell me I gotta outman you, the fact of the matter is, as far as being a man, you ain't no match for me. And so, you said, of course. Then why would I need to prove that? You know the funny thing too about females like you? On the front end, you be bucking up and acting wild.
Yeah.
It's just like when you meet a horse that could potentially be a thoroughbred, but it's wild and you have to break it.
That's the reality of losing yourself and becoming hot girl summer, the wild stallion. You see, when you gotta be a good wife again, someone has to break you and tame you again. But if they break you and then they don't want to finish taming you, they just leave and you're just, broken. That's where a lot of women are. Now you need a man to come put you back together. And you haven't learned to respect or even do anything in the meantime. So it's going to be kind of difficult for a man to just want to do that. Now I'm going to prove another point of how everybody's right and everybody's wrong.
Have children.
Buy him for me, Father. I'll ride him.
And if you don't,
I'll pay for him myself.
with what? Your singing voice.
I'll pay you.
I tell you, the horse can't be ridden, lad. His mind is broken.
Get it?
It can be ridden. By me.
If you can rule
Only real niggas can do it.
that horse, I'll make him yours. Half the price.
That horse will kill him, Philip.
She'll make a musician out of him yet. Doesn't have the craft, Philip. He could hurt himself.
We'll have to figure that out for himself.
You don't like your shadow, do you? It's like a dark spirit coming up to get you. You see, that's us. It's just a trick of Apollo's. He's the god of sun. Show you how to outwit him. You and me together. Bucephalus. That's what I'll call you. Bucephalus and Alexander. Buy him for me, Father.
Have children immediately. Oh, that? Including in high school. Yes. I think that's all that matters. Like, in the end, you know, again, these aren't even cliches anymore because no one says them. But when I was a kid, people always say, on your deathbed, you never wish you spent more time at work. I can't overstate from my vantage how true that is. Nothing else matters.
Buy him.
Have children immediately. Oh, that? Including in high school. Yes. I think that's all that matters. Like, in the end, you know, again, these aren't even cliches anymore because no one says them. But when I was a kid, people always say, on your deathbed, you never wish you spent more time at work. I can't overstate from my vantage how true that is. Nothing else matters but your family. And have children immediately. Oh, that? Including
Wanted to focus on my career and get something going for myself. And then I ended up pregnant with Kashmir. And then that's when I went through a public breakup and that was that. And then me and my partner, we separated. So
have children immediately. Oh, that? Including in high school. Yes.
Wanted to focus on my career and get something going for myself. And then I ended up pregnant with Kashmir. And then that's when I went through a public breakup and that was that. And then me and my partner, we separated.
Have children immediately. Oh, that? Including in high school. Yes. I think that's all that matters. Like, in the end, you know, again, these aren't even cliches anymore because no one says them. But when I was a kid, people always say, on your deathbed, you never wish you spent more time at work. I can't overstate from my vantage how true that is.
It's true for him.
Wanted to focus on my career and get something going for myself. And then I ended up pregnant with Kashmir. And then that's when I went through a public breakup and that was that. And then me and my partner, we separated. So I'm a single mom of five kids later. People always ask, oh, why are you, like, what happened with your marriage?
None of your fucking business.
Or, like, why you're not in a relationship. And I always say I was never married, but the relationship, I thought it was going towards marriage. And then my partner at the time had an outside baby that I was not okay with. And we were not married, so I'm like, I'm not about to deal with this because I thought what we had was something way more special than the way you're treating it.
That's why the Bible says, get married and then have the kids. Get him to commit to marriage first. You know, the whole wanting to stay with you thing. And then have the children because, you know, then he'll know. You know, this is why you give yourself some time. But life doesn't always work out the way we plan it.
And I felt like I had no choice but to leave. I had to choose me and my kids. Wanted to focus on my career and
have children immediately.
And that's what I mean by certain women are not the worst. They tried to be like wives to men that didn't either understand themselves yet, wasn't ready, or an asshole. Either one, it still leaves the same results. And then they're broken, and it's harder for them to find a man. some of them don't even have children and they're just hurt and they're, you know? And then it takes a certain kind of man to ride that stallion.
Buy him for me, Father. I'll ride him.
And if you don't,
I'll pay for him myself.
with what? Your singing voice!
I'll pay you.
I tell you, the horse can't be ridden, lad. His mind is broken.
It can be ridden by me.
If you can rule that horse, I'll make him yours. Half the price.
That horse will kill him, Philip.
She'll make a musician out of him yet.
What are the three primary animals that people eat?
Chicken, beef, fish, pork.
Okay. You look at all of those animals. Are any of them carnivores?
Buy.
What are the three primary animals that people eat?
Chicken, beef, fish, pork.
Okay. You look at all of those animals. Are any of them carnivores?
No.
None of them eat meat. So if you're eating something
The pig does.
that didn't require meat to build its own protein, then why do you need to eat that to create your own protein?
Isn't that strange?
Hey, this man, hey, think of some of the strongest animals in the animal kingdom. Gorilla, monkeys, rhino, elephant, ox. None of them eat meat. So
Yeah, and they're really, really fucking buff.
we take one example like the lion and say, okay, we're supposed to eat meat, not understanding that most animals don't actually eat meat. And then when you start to think about even our biology, like you think about how a lion is set up or carnivores are set up, they always have teeth that match to be able to kill meat. We don't. They also have a jaw that can only collapse this way. It can't go this way, like ours can. Your jaw going side to side is indicative of what are
It proves what you should eat and not. Oh yeah, the Bible said I gave you all the plants as food and medicine. Anything that grows with a seed is yours, so you can eat it and stay healthy. For the young guys, I understand you see it in the movies. I understand you see other grown men do it sometimes, get away with it, but you know. Enjoy being young. Stop trying to be tough.
These officers responded to an apartment complex regarding a disturbance in the parking lot.
What you walking up on me like that for? What's up? What's your address? Take that vest off. Come on.
What are the
These officers responded to an apartment complex regarding a disturbance in the parking lot.
What you walking up on me like that for? What's up? What's your...
Because he's a cop, and he can do that. Besides that, he's a grown-ass man.
Your address? Take that vest off. Come on.
And when they arrived, one of the guys started trash talking and wanting to fight the officer.
Let's get it, bro. What's up? Like you're not a... Just take that shit off. Come on, take that shit off. Let's get it.
Let's just say the officer disciplined him more in a minute than the guy's father did his entire life.
You ain't gonna get shit. Okay. Take it off and you see. What you laughing for? I'm writing your shit. Take it off.
Sweep, push on the floor.
Put your hands behind your back. I'm a minor.
Oh, now you're a minor. Before 10 seconds ago, 3 seconds ago, you was a gorilla. Pumping and beating his fucking chest in front of somebody.
So why'd you get in my face? Were you gonna hit me? Huh? Not me too, sir. You doing that? Hey, back up! Hey, back up! It's no big deal. I told you several chances. I said, hey, stop balling your fist. Chill out.
Sound the horns. I think my daddy's in the building. You see, cops aren't regular people. That's what the badge is for in a uniform. And the flashing lights and the gun. You know? And the baton and stuff. You see, when you ball your fists up in a threatening manner and say, let's get it. See, he understands that what that means. That means fight. So you just verbally threaten the cop to combat. Unbeknownst to you, you can be arrested for that. You know how you would do that to a regular person, then you would go fight or whatever? The cop can fight you, beat you up, and arrest you. You know? So, the tough guy shit against cops died in the 90s. You know what I mean? You only do that. Like, the criminals that actually fight cops and talk like that are usually the ones that either A, they're dealing with cops that they've been getting arrested by and their balls busted for fucking years. You know what I mean? These are the men that are protected and served, and they gotta deal with fucking hardened criminals and all this. They don't have time to play the fuck around. You know what I mean? When they hear shit like that, they know their life might end right there and then. Their life might, when someone bucks up on them like that, see, when they deal with real people that are really gonna, they know in their mind, I might not go home now. So I'm gonna put my hand near my hip, and if this motherfucker thinks I'm not going home, he's really got a thing coming, a couple of hot things, and you get it. This is how people go bye-bye. That's how hardened criminals go bye-bye real quick, talking like what you was doing. Just talking like that. Catch a hot one. Nice, you know, get him in the car and take you to the police station and pummel you. You're lucky, you know, they sweet kick little punks like you and grown men that they know they ain't gonna bash you to death. They know you're so fucking scared to death and you're trying to act cool. And you've seen it on TV, so you gotta be the one to say, I know my rights and I could talk certain ways. You can talk loud. You know? He can't, well, he can tell you to stop talking loud if he really wants to. But some officers allow you to, you know, get your little aggression out, because they know they're gonna tell you to shut the fuck up and leave, and you should, as a grown man, be like, oh, alright, that's my time to shut the fuck up and leave. He knows I know my rights, so I can talk loud, but not threaten him. I'm not gonna threaten this man, because once I threaten this man, he's not a regular person. Now the cuffs come out. See, a lot of people get away with that, and, you know? This is not the fucking 90s anymore. They don't know who is crazy now. They're kids that are fucking going to school and going nuts. So being a kid, all that, I'm a minor, you're a threat. You're a threat. It's not a rap video anymore. I suggest people realize we're in the age of the Jetsons, and you know, you gotta deal with it.
This looks like something I would use to charge my phone.
So actually what this is, the reason why I have this little orange thing here is because there is no way I'd ever know that this was not a charger without this orange tag, because it is that perfect. So the NSA is selling these for $20,000. And I have a friend, MG, he goes by, who is selling them for, you know, a couple $100s a piece. And I have a bunch of them I can show you. So this is a charger that will work. I could hand this to you and say, hey, here's my charger, man, or replace yours, right? As soon as this plugs in, inside of this tiny little plastic right here, inside of this is a Wi-Fi chip, a mini computer, and this thing emulates a keyboard and can type at 860 characters per second. It can monitor your keystrokes, so you can put this in line in between your
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you can put this in line in between your keyboard and your computer.
Who uses them?
They're intended for penetration testers like myself to do the right thing.
This looks like something.
I don't even know what the fuck that means, so, you know, I'm pretty sure that it means they can do things on your phone. Sure. Don't just piss random people off on the street. You don't know who you're dealing with. Like, when a person, the people that are gonna do things like this to you, they're not gonna hit you with that kid shit, like that. So what's up, bro? You wanna get it? You know? They're not gonna hit you with the, you know who the fuck you're talking to? No, you're gonna disrespect them, and they're gonna be like, alright. You get it? So, if you're cheating on your girl, and she mysteriously finds out, or, you know, you get fired from your job because they fucking leak your text messages of whatever the fuck you're doing, or the new thing that I'm starting to realize, make shit up. Get it? Falsify a whole relationship, and fucking now you cheat with somebody else, and they got fucking text messages made up and shit. Pictures, like, it's getting bad, bro. Having a relationship now is having any relationship is just, in the future, is going to be so hard because, one, like I said, if you have someone that doesn't like you and they get a hold of these fucking devices, that what's this little cord thing is just one thing. There's so many things I've heard of, and regular people can get these things, and they can fuck people's lives up. I can only imagine how many couples, how many people lost their job, how many blah blah. Like I was talking to some guy today. Just so happens this fucking guy is the guy that fucking helped me catch my supervisors trying to do some slick shit and take my equipment. And I'll go in the store, he sees it, I come out, he tells me who took it, so I called up the people, blah blah blah. Long story short, got my stuff back. So I'm talking to him, I see him at the bus stop again, I'm like, yo, thank you for that day, blah 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 blah. He tells me, yeah, with, you know, you end up talking to somebody, he's like, yeah man, I had a problem with this cop back in the sound the horns, true story, my daddy's in the building. And he said, yeah man, he had a problem with my son when he was a teenager, and I don't know what happened that made this guy hate my kid, but this guy hated my kid. My kid told me that he said he was gonna destroy him one day, and then out of nowhere, he just is locking my kid up for fucking things. Next thing I know, I tell my kid to not hang out with this one kid because he smokes weed and shit, and it's back when it's illegal, and they get arrested smoking weed, and then next thing you know, he fucking gets my kid and says my kid's fucking selling weed. Then he fucking gets my kid and he says he's fucking smoking crack. Then he gets my kid and he says he's selling crack. Then he gets my kid and I said, yo, that's crazy. He's just dumping charges on this nigga. And now who knows what this kid may or may, like, you know, I just played the video. We sat down. Niggas think they're fucking somebody. But, you know, you don't do this to a kid. And so he eventually got this kid locked up. And then years later, he says, yeah, my kid tried to go get this dope job. They seen his resume and all the good stuff he did years later during his life. And he was like, we would love to hire you, but you have crack cocaine on your record. I said, oh, shit. Like, god damn. Like, I thought struggling my whole life just to fucking, you know? I'm glad my dreams were small. I'm glad my beginnings were so far back that just to get to the board is the dream, you know? Just to survive and do it one more time and like, hey, if I lose it, fuck it, it doesn't even matter. I just try again. Like other people actually had the good start and then get screwed. Because somebody doesn't like you with some shit. And nobody knows what to fucking do. Nobody knows the fucking how to counter what the fuck these people gonna do to you. This is a fucked up world, bro. This shit is not fair. Shit like this is not fair. And it's only getting worse. So, you know, good luck.
Almost 2020. If it's still that bad, then technology is behind, which we all know it's not.
So humming
increases that nitric oxide 15-fold. And there was one study that showed this guy completely got rid of his rhinitis just by humming for about 10 minutes 4 times a day.
Oh, so that's what the Lord be making me do that. I always wondered why I got used to doing shit like that. Like, I always thought it was yeah, because, you know, the rapping thing. See, the rap, when you actually figure it out, and you figure out, you know, melodies and shit, and you figure out how you want to rap on a beat, and this is a little cheat code for those that may want to do music, get some of that stress out. When you form your pattern, and you don't have words, all you need is the pattern. You know, once you get that rhythm, then you can just hum it, and then, you know, you play around, you feel it, you match it to the beat, and then boom, once you got it, then you fill in with the words, and it's easier to write the fucking song. Little cheat code. I wonder why singing, rapping, all of those techniques start with humming. You know, making a beatbox, and laying down keys, and all it. That starts with humming, praying. You know, mantras or whatever they call it. I forgot what they call it in the Bible. Hymns. You know. I wonder why a lot of these sound technology isn't talked about more, because, you know, my Father created your body, so you are a creation, and if he said humming can help you, then you are technology that can help itself if it learns how to use itself. That's what I heard.
Nitric oxide 15-fold, and there was one study that showed this guy completely got rid of his rhinitis just by humming for about 10 minutes 4 times a day. The humming also helps to calm the body down, because we have the vagal nerve, right? Vagus nerve, vagal tone.
Wow, that's funny. Remember, like, grandma, black people, remember grandma used to remember, she used to hold you and shit and be humming the songs because she don't know the words almost, or maybe she just hums the songs because that's what she was raised on. And then you, like, fall asleep because you're like, she's holding you in the chest, and you know? You don't know about that with the babies, and you don't know mothers used to do that? I do. I learned about things like that, just in case if I was in that predicament.
Is right along here, so when you hum, you're sending signals to the vagus nerve, and you're calming your body down. Humming is stimulating more nitric oxide and
Oh, maybe that's what they was doing. They was humming because the baby's a little upset, cranky at night. So they, and you know, ever you notice how humming vibrates right from the chest? You know, the voice, the throat area, and it goes right to the chest. So if you're a baby and they're holding you near the chest, you know, near your heart, and that has its own rhythm. You know how people like that rhythm of the mother's heart? You know, they've been listening to that thing since they were created, you know? So you putting all those things together, and then maybe that's why the baby gets calm. You don't need, melatonin. Fucking drugging these poor babies.
allowing it to break free from all of those tissues.
So you hum in your nose like.
So humming increases that nitric oxide 15-fold, and there was one study that showed this guy completely got rid of his rhinitis just by humming.
So, we're gonna do a fun fact.
Take it off.
Do not touch it.
Ma'am,
Sir, do not
you
touch
have to take this off. You're not.
Why was that a little clip of a woman literally putting, like, plastic all around her seat on an airplane? Like she made a fort. What the fuck?
This is the last surviving film frame of a famous boxing match in 1908. a World Heavyweight Championship, fought in Sydney, Australia between American boxer Jack Johnson and defending champion Canadian boxer Tommy Burns. Johnson won. The fight wasn't even close, and the film displayed signature traits of Johnson's: his habit of taunting his opponents and flashing his famous golden smile while he fought. The real ends moments.
Now you know why Mike used to do it? Now you know why Mike used to pummel his opponent and look over at the camera right at you and smile like, look at this fucking jabroni, I'm gonna pummel this man to death. Because it's already been done. If you listen to Mike, he'll tell you, I studied the greats. I am only what was before me.
Before police stepped into the ring and put a stop to it, preventing Johnson from knocking Burns out. This is the night Jack Johnson became the first black heavyweight champion of the world, in front of 20,000 mostly white spectators and, more importantly, motion picture cameras. Copies of the fight film spread throughout Australia within days, replaying Johnson's effortless victory over and over at screening events attended by paying crowds. Pretty soon, that film was seen worldwide. And from the moment Jack Johnson's reign as World Heavyweight Champion began, a target was on his back. Commercial motion pictures and professional boxing both came to prominence around the turn of the 20th century. Boxing's format, short rounds fought in a stationary ring, lent itself well to early film, with its clunky cameras and relatively short film reels. Film companies would travel around the country projecting reels of prize fights in packed theaters and opera houses.
Imagine that. Movies where people just going to watch boxing matches. How you see how far we have come?
Champions were celebrated as heroes, and that's because boxing, going back centuries, has been wrapped up in themes of identity and pride.
Centuries.
Boxers symbolize their communities, not just their national communities, but also their race.
Teresa Runstetler teaches history at American University and specializes in the intersection of race and sport.
They imagine that boxers in the ring, particularly for interracial fights, that they were almost engaged in this kind of Darwinian struggle, fights between white men and black men. They became a kind of metaphor.
David versus Goliath. What do I keep saying over and over and over? The ancient ways of war, and the biggest glory of all was to put the fucking weight of everything, everyone on one man's shoulders and be like, now get in there and show 'em we the best, goddammit. You get it? People have been doing this since the beginning. This is just the male ego flaring up every, couple centuries. It's just what men do. This is the type of shit that where women like, you're fucking brutes. What is wrong with you? What are you doing? With the dick swinging contest.
For race relations. So in other words, if a white man won, it would reinforce ideas of white supremacy. But if a black man won, then it would upend ideas of white supremacy.
As professional.
Obviously it didn't. So, just like I said, what's a dick swing contest for?
Professional boxing or prize fighting became more popular around the turn of the century.
This ain't back in the day, where if you actually do that, everyone, the winner wins. And the power goes to the winner. This ain't the time of the Lord. It's hard to do things like that, That'd be really hard. Because, could you imagine? Do you understand? Like, if this is true, at one point in the world, like, blood sport was real. Like, even though it's still real to this day. Kumite. You get it? Like people all over the world to not maybe not rule. It's been a contest for a long time to demonstrate, you know, I'm the bad. But there was a time where it's like, yo, dog, we're gonna go all in. And could you imagine that though? That's the pressure on those two men's shoulders. You know, the preparation. You know, I understand now why these men were immortalized. You get it? You understand why? Like, you know, this is why when men try to brag with their monies and their car, you're fucking gonna die. No one's gonna remember you. Nothing. You're just a man like me, nigga. Stop your fucking shenanigans trying to make yourself feel good. Hercules is a fucking real person. Fucking Zeus is a real person. These heroes and these legends and all that, it goes back to real people. They may have not done all the fucking things and had magical powers, maybe, but they did things that were so great. Like, put it all on the line like that. You know, and they won.
Pitting black boxers against white boxers were organized at all levels, except for the highest honor in the sport, the heavyweight championship.
There had been a kind of unwritten rule that white heavyweight fighters...
You know what always baffled me? No matter what's, physical sport, you know, like boxing, karates, and all of those different things, UFCs or whatever, right? No matter what they go into, everybody has the championship belt, you know, like wrestling. And the belt's always gold, you know what I mean? And I'm like, why? You ever think that? Like, why don't they get a trophy? Like basketball. Why don't they get a crown and say, I'm the fucking king of the UFC? You know what I mean? Like, something. And then I read the Bible, and there's somebody that they wear a belt around their waist, but it's not a championship belt, but it's gold. It's called a girdle. Looks like a championship belt, though, but it don't look like, you know, what we would make. But somebody's got a belt, too. Got a crown though.
Were not to fight black fighters in title fights.
This de facto line of segregation was called the color line.
And so Jack Johnson, being the best black fighter at the time, struggled to find white opponents.
Johnson, who by 1908 had already defended his separate title of World Colored Heavyweight Champion 17 times, was repeatedly denied a shot at the most prestigious title in the world, until defending champion Tommy Burns accepted his challenge in 1908. And you already know
Big Burns
how that turned out.
Burns
Hey, you fucking stepped in there and shit. Those are the men that should get the most fucking respect. But oh yeah, I live in a world where fucking you don't get respect for going in against one of the greatest fucking people in the world while everyone else is fucking scared to death. You're the one that steps up to Goliath like, fuck that, I'll fucking fight him. Doof! Oh shit, I ain't the one. But he stepped the fuck up. Do you even know who Burns is? Do you even know do you know Jack? You get it?
His defeat at the hands of a black American fighter disrupted that narrative of white supremacy.
You can see this happening in how newspapers framed the fight. Reporting on Johnson was heavily skewed to appeal to white readers, and overwhelmingly drew attention to his race, sometimes before using his name.
And that's what makes people have ego. And then people fight each other like dummies on the street. Like that's gonna solve anything or prove anything. You know? Because if a black man fights to say, yeah, look, he beat him, and we got I'm Hercules, I have the power. If you fight that white man, you're going to jail and possibly never coming home again in multiple ways. If that white man fights you and beats you up, they already have supremacy, so what the fuck is he gaining? The feel of, look, I beat one of them up? I mean, yeah, that's what ego fights are really about, but what the fuck does anybody really win at all of it? What's the point of even doing the fight? No one's gonna gain anything except ego.
Jack Johnson holding on to the heavyweight crown was just not acceptable in an era of white imperialism, Jim Crow, and global white supremacy.
The search for a white heavyweight to take the title back from Johnson began the night he won it. Former heavyweights claimed they would come out of retirement to fight him, and that a white man must hold the title. The most popular choice among promoters and white boxing fans was James Jeffries, a former heavyweight champion who had retired undefeated in 1905 and was named the only hope of the white race.
See, that right there, stupid shit like that. That's what I mean about the pressures. You the only hope. He reads that and he's fucking like, what the fuck, nigga? Damn. Now you all nervous and shit.
Johnson, for his part, was ready to defend his title against anyone, the retired Jeffries included. Jeffries was out of shape and hadn't stepped into the ring in over 4 years.
More pressure.
They had him believing that if he just trained a little bit and got back in shape, that he could win and get the heavyweight crown back for the white race.
Wow, that sounds real familiar. You, my Batman brain be kicking, bro. You know, I'm not even gonna get into it. Dante Wilder. I'm just gonna leave it there. Dante fucking Wilder. I think that's his name, right?
The pressure and the promise of big.
You said that your people have been fighting for 400 years. And your people too. So I just want you to explain what you mean by that.
You know what I'm talking about. Y'all all know what I'm talking about, man. Don't sit up here and try to bait and not know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what the I talk about when I say these things. Your people too.
Explain it. Everybody knows what you're talking about.
Radio Raheem, I don't have to explain what's understood, man. You know what I mean by that. You know what I say about that. I ain't gotta go further. And if anybody don't understand that, then God be with them. Go look up the history. Go look up the history. Hey, don't everybody believe in Google? Go Google it. See what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, man. You know what I dare you to sit up there and say, explain. You know what I'm talking about, man.
What are you talking about?
It's fighting people. You know we've been fighting 400 and still fighting to this day. To this day. To this. You know we've been fighting 400 and still fighting to this day. To this day. To this day. You just sit here, you don't know what I'm talking about?
I don't even know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
Johnson and Jeffries signed a deal, setting a date for the following year. White press coverage leading up to the fight depicted racist cartoons of an overconfident Johnson and predicted his downfall at the hands of Jeffries. This fight, hyped as the battle of the century, was to be a contest.
That's enough. But that's clear. They used to really box back then.
Steak sauce, you know, waffle, you know, that was just.
You some more well done. Oh no, that is too.
It's the vibe.
Message.
See what
I
I'm
was
saying?
drinking lean at a point in my life, and young kids don't drink lean. That slow you up on the goals of life.
Seizures.
Everything.
Take it from
Health,
Rose.
make you forget. There's been times I've been in the studio, my bars ain't really clicking right, my memory ain't hitting right. I'm like, damn, them Percocets and that lean, that shit ain't really. You might spend an all night in the studio drinking lean, put that cup down next to your bed, wake up and sip the lean first before you hit the water. You just taste medicine before you drink water. You probably gonna die before one of us, you know what I mean? And I don't know, life is life we live. We never know when our day is, but we try to make sure we take care of ourselves different now. Well, me and Rose, because
Do you feel better now?
Yeah, I feel way better now. Hell yeah.
Tweaking about life for a second, look at this image. You are literally a single cell that is wearing armor and grew a lot. Your whole brain, your spinal column,
That's who you are. That's who you began as. That's your first body. Ada. You get it? And you may not remember it, but you beat a lot of people in a swimming race to be here. You were born a winner. Start acting like it.
a single cell that is wearing armor and grew a lot. Your whole brain, your spinal column is this, but bigger. You added some meat. And we walk around our whole lives thinking that we are the meat. This stuff, it's all temporary. It's all rented. Our payment is time. So more than anything, this is a call for people to stop reducing God to a single book. Because you think the infinite is going to just be in a single book. Yes, it can tell you about that, but you can't even think about what the infinite is.
That's why the book tells you, don't waste time trying to figure the Lord out. You're going to break your brain. He's infinite. Worry about the things that are important. Oh yeah, the book tells you how to make sure your vehicle operates the best. The book tells you, you're not a lion. You're not a gorilla. You're in between. But if you can figure out what to do, right? Because I gave you a brain. So, yeah, it's not in just a book. He gave you a book for the basic instructions before leaving Earth. Bye-bye. You get it?
You can't even think about what we are. And when you figure out what you are, you will figure out what God is. Stop tweaking about
infinite.
Put it on Levi, Jacob, and the best of Ruben, fuck 9 snares. My tribe, we're using metal tubing, rocking your evolution, dropping your mess pollution, stopping this devil moving, lopping the heads we choosing. Shit so ridiculous, wrap it up, St. Nicholas, conspicuous, metaphor and real tracks for sure what the difference is. Come to the rap, who won't live your shit? Take a lot of drugs and hit your bitch. Reverend Flash, not Superman, Kryptonite. He don't get the shit. Tobey Maguire was bit by a spider, not it was Peter Parker. My shit gets darker, don't make me Parker. Breed of a walker, never a stalker, never a talker. I am the walker, dog is a barker, wolf is a stalker, age of the Sith. Saber is lit, raising the tip, grazing your graves. I was made for this shit, made in the ways of the grit, paved in the ways of the lift. Crown on my head, I was made for the lift. Drown you in bed, was craving your shit. Ways of the rip, Super Dave and his bitch. Predator rap, I will lazy shit, no blaze in the fifth. Edit your life, no phase in the clip, nigga. Just the aftermath, going after trash. Add it up, math is math. Slim guard, you can speed it up. Stands each of up, cuz ass is ass. Stuck in a moment, cause the past is past. Fucked up a moment, past the mag. Duck disappointment, half a jab. Pack a lunch, you better pack a bag. Ha, ripping your beat, live with the feet. Line just roll, but live with the meat. Listen to me, get with the sheep. Back in the pen, ripping your feet. Jig up, Clement, back, like the kings. Listen to me, this is what it is. Gotta show 'em what I see. Done with your Lorette mockeries, period. Apostrophe delirious. If you stop at me, it's the period of the prophecy. Elijah be my prophecy. Samson and Elijah me. Elijah and the God of me. David in the rock of me. Legend don't flop and apologize. Smoking hits, a pound of lies. 8 now the size, 8,000 lives. All Malcolmized. Bells up all for 1,000 lies. Devils hug for they pound you guys. Leveled up for they mount you guys. G-Bad beat for the pound of flies. Your man probably a fag, hooked up with a snotty nose. Make your girl a body bag, giving her body blows. She cocking the gauge, know how to shotty blows. Call her Miss Quinn, he suicide, the shotty blows. It's a suicide if she body shows. Baby got a body that bodies, fake potty hoes. Baby got a hold of my mind, the body goes. Showing up flash dragon, she can make the body glow. No ducking, never been a lame chick. Then your son stretching your legs, no crane kick. Innovates, never on the same shits. Dinner plates,